Hello, 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 and welcome to today's episode of Her Version. This podcast is dedicated to sharing stories of struggle to triumph, a platform that allows individuals to tell their truth in order to inspire and uplift others. For those of you that are new to this podcast and like content like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you follow, like, and share. I am your host, Sabrina Victoria. Let's jump right in. I'm not going to lie. One of my favorite things is when I see my guest speakers jam into my intro song.
I know. It's got like a good energy. I'm like, okay, this is good.
I love it. For those of you that are jumping on live now, we appreciate you being here and supporting Nichole, her journey, and the Her Version platform. The Her Version platform is built on storytelling and the understanding that many times our greatest learning experiences come from listening to other people's stories. So today I am hanging out with Miss Nichole Howard. Nichole is everything you would want in a professional photographer. She is creative and passionate about her work, but this picture perfect life was not always so picture perfect. Divorced parents, experimentation with drugs early in life led to a really low GPA in her first attempt at college, along with a whirlwind of other things that life has thrown at her. Nichole has proven to have resilience and drive, graduating school with her master's degree and becoming a sensation in the world of photography. She is now helping women find their voice through pictures, empowering branding and showcasing storytelling through the camera lens. We are excited to know more. Welcome, Nichole. Speaking of personal growth and self-development, what is your thought process as far as the importance of that? Do you think that that is something that's kind of necessary for us?
Yes, 1,000%.
Yeah.
1,000%. If you've gone through any hardship in your life, doing personal development, doing the work, right? That's the work. And it doesn't always have to be hard. It just is, you have to be willing to like take a look at what's going on inside. For me, I think the thing I've learned is that if I understand myself, what incentivizes me, what distracts me, what triggers me, what motivates me, that's so important because I'm truly the only person I have the ability to control or change. You can't do that for anybody else around you. You have to take care of your own yard. You have to take care of your own garden in your brain, right? You can't do it for somebody else. You can influence that and they may see you. I guess this goes back to the question about up-leveling. They may see you up-leveling and be influenced by you and be inspired by you, but you cannot willingly look at them and change them.
Yeah.
Right? You can only do that for yourself. So yes, I believe personal development is critical, especially if you've gone through any kind of hardship. And anybody who just lived through 2021 and 2022, that means all of us, right?
Yeah, 100%. Did you do that on your own, or did you go therapy or coach? What did you do? Read a book?
Okay, my journey, like I said, started when I was 20. It took me a little while to find the right therapist. So I want to stress that's really important. You have to find somebody who you can feel safe enough around to trust and open up, that they will let you release and hold that space, right? I was blessed that my mom actually connected me to the first therapist that was extremely helpful for me.
Wow.
So it was a real gift. She went through her own personal development journey, right? So she went from being this person who, raised 2 daughters on her own, for the most part. And then kind of struggled, lived in an apartment. We lived in an apartment together. I shared a bedroom with my sister until I was 16, or maybe a little longer. To now living in a house with a beautiful backyard with a pool, owning 2 horses, right? Having a 6-figure career. She has done such a 180.
Wow.
Overcoming anxiety and depression, still struggling, right? Because it's not lateral. Like it's not this, right? It's not like you just go up and up and up, up. It's this. It's like it's a wave,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But like she's learned how to ride it. And I think that was a huge influence on my sister and me. I mean, I'll speak for myself, like for me. And yeah, so definitely like finding a therapist and then ongoing like books
Yeah.
are huge. Like even just like some coaching books. Jen Sincero is an amazing author. If you haven't read You Are a Badass, please go out and buy that book immediately right now and go read it. It's an easy read. I read it in like a day. It's incredible. Or get the audiobook and
Yeah,
just
I
listen
did
to it
audio.
with her. So amazing. Like she is just like the #1 hype woman and just like reminds you to shatter all of those things all those doubts and fears and awful things we think about ourselves and the judgment that we put on ourselves. She's so beautiful at talking about that. Yeah. Carol Dweck is another one. Talks about growth mindset versus fixed mindset. Amazing.
I don't know who that is. Carol who?
Carol Dweck.
Dweck.
Oh my God, she is incredible. So she has a TED Talk too. And I can't remember the name of the TED Talk, but her book is called Mindset.
Awesome. That's one of the things I'm trying to get in the groove of, because a lot of my mentors that I follow are men. I've recently come to the realization, breaking through limiting beliefs, which we're going to be talking about in a little bit, of men are more successful than females. It's kind of like one of the things that I'm really trying to get over as far as breaking through my own barriers, shattering my own belief systems. And I'm sitting here thinking like, maybe I should start to follow more successful females.
I have a list for you. Sabrina, I have a list. Like, okay, like I will put it in the comments so everybody can look. Because like that is who I gravitate towards. Right? Like that is my true north right now. It's like, where are the successful I can't even say it, successful females? Like the boss babes, I don't care what you call them, but like I want to emulate that. So like, yes, I know tons. I'm happy to recommend.
You know why it started like this? So for me, my story.
Yeah.
This is your story, but since we're on this subject,
let's talk about it.
I Googled probably like 10 years ago when I was in a really shitty spot. I was looking for inspiring stories, and I just did one Google search that said like most inspiring speakers or something like that. And it was men.
Tony Robbins.
Yeah, of course. But like men, it was like, I took a screenshot of it actually way back in the day. I don't know if I still have it, but it was like 57 men and then finally one woman that I had never even heard of. It was crazy. Yeah. So what I did at that point is I started at the top and I started listening to all these men. And I said, what are they doing that obviously these women aren't doing in this sector where Google is saying that these are the most inspirational speakers on the planet?
So what are they doing?
So that's what I said. Well, first of all, they're way more aggressive. They speak, they tell their story a lot more, which is why we love those stories. But
I love that.
Yeah. So for some, I don't know. I mean, that's just what I noticed. I wasn't comparing. I literally just dove in, just number one, what the fuck are you doing? And I just started like really trying to pull out and emulate exactly what they're doing within my own community that I am building here.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't until probably like a few months ago, I was on an impact panel and the lady, we were talking about limiting beliefs of some sort. And I was like, I need to freaking change that up a little bit, because that's probably influenced me a little bit and may even be keeping me at a little bit of a plateau, because all I'm listening to is men without necessarily realizing that I was doing that to myself,
Yeah.
So definitely something that I'm being more conscious of now. I have read Jen's book, or I listened to her audio, the whole thing. I actually listened to it twice, but yeah, I need more. So I've grabbed a lot of stuff on Oprah. Barbara Cochran is like my idol.
Ooh, I don't know her, so I would love to learn about her.
Barbara Cochran is on Shark Tank. She's the older woman with the short hair. Her story is similar to my story. So ran a whole business with her husband in real estate. Her husband started screwing the secretary.
Ugh.
Once they're like millionaires. Like they're freaking just, so they get divorced, still running the company together. She just couldn't handle it anymore. Like seeing her and him and this whole thing. So she broke off and her husband told her, you'll never make it.
Wow.
And that's my
She's like, guess what? Guess what? I will. How about that? Let's try that.
Yeah, that's my story. And now she just blew up in real estate, like crazy. So she's like, and I've had her story for a while, and she's one of the people that I really try to emulate with that. It's more of a negative, but sometimes you need that. Sometimes there are negatives.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that though. I mean, like I said, knowing what motivates you, what inspires you, what triggers you, right? That's all the stuff that's important, so you know how to take action in your life to create what you want to create. Right? That's all the juicy stuff. That's why personal development is so important. Yeah. So if it works for you, use it.
Definitely. Yeah, but I would so appreciate, Alyssa, if you got like a top 5.
Oh, I got you. Oh, I have like the top of my head. I'm like, okay, Brene Brown. I mean, I'm sure you've probably heard of her now. Glennon Doyle, amazing. Her book Untamed, another life changer. Like probably one of my top 3 books of all time, if not number 1. Elizabeth Gilbert, really love her. Her story is really interesting. Her book, Big Magic for Creatives, is incredible. How to live a creative life beyond fear. Really good, really juicy. She wrote the book Eat, Pray, Love.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Elizabeth Gilbert. So really good, another good one. And then, so who else? I actually just read, and it's a podcast I follow called Earn Your Happy. Lori Harder, she's wonderful. So she actually wrote a book called A Tribe Called Bliss about how you basically fill your life with people who are going to really support you in your goals and your dreams versus kind of maybe not support you or not really be there, the way you want them to show up. And it helps you work some of your own personal stuff too. I mean, I have a few others. Those are just a couple.
Yeah, it's great.
I can just think of off the top of my head. Yeah. And Carol Dweck, Mindset. Oh my gosh, so good.
Yeah, I wrote that one down. That's the first one. Yeah. That'll jumpstart me because I had this conversation like a month or 2 ago on an impact panel, and I still didn't. So that's kind of like a little kick in the ass right there.
Well, like it's
a little kick in the ass. So
no, I get. It's funny though because I'm like, should I start listening to more guys? Oh, Mel Robbins is really good. I don't know if you listen to her at all. She's awesome.
And read her book. Yeah. Ooh, that reminded me of Lisa Nichols. Lisa Nichols was on The Secret. African American.
Ooh, okay.
So much passion.
Love that. Ooh, I should look into her.
Yeah, Lisa Nichols. She's great. But that's really it. So I was listening to Lisa Nichols, Oprah.
Mm-hmm.
I do listen to Mel Robbins. I forgot about her, and Barbara Cochran are like my top 4.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
That's not enough because I'm listening to like 22 men, So.
Yeah. Oh, I have another one. Amanda Francis. I'm listening to her book right now. It's about money mindset, right? And that's another thing men do really, really well with is their financial kind of being okay with talking about money and how they bring it in and very comfortable about it, right? For women, or at least for me, I'll speak for myself, like not always that comfortable with it, right? Like how I manage it, like how I feel about it. How do I feel when I have it? Like, do I deserve it? Am I worthy of calling it in? All of that stuff. So her book actually called Rich as Fuck, and it's really good.
I love that. I'll probably actually start with that one.
Amanda Francis. Yeah, it's easy too. It's like 6-hour Audible.
Yeah, a lot of the money mindset books, and they've worked, but all by men. And what's so funny is even I laughed. Actually, there was one female. I take that back. It was called How to Be a Rich Bitch.
Ooh, nice.
I don't remember who wrote it, but her picture's on the front. She's very beautiful. But one of my first money mindset books was by David Bachman, I think. And it was it was 4 females. It was a man writing 4 females, which was really cool. But it was so funny how I like gravitated towards a book for females, but it was still written by a man.
Yes, that's crazy. I mean,
so
feelings about that. I mean, I'm all about taking advice, right, from anybody, right, who has the expertise, the knowledge, a good heart, right? Somebody who's really trying to help. I'm all about like listening and taking what you want from it, but like it's I don't know. I'm gonna equate it to something that may be a little bit vulgar, but it's like going to a male gynecologist. Like
Yeah.
he doesn't understand it. Like he doesn't know what it's like to live it.
Yeah. Totally.
For me,
I
that's really hard.
I agree. Definitely. Yeah.
Empathize.
But now looking back, I didn't know it back then, but now looking back, I'm like, this is so interesting. Even that is like, I was looking for a book to help with females, but then it's still by a male author. So it's kind of like, I need to maybe do some more digging inside as far as why I'm, I don't want to say attracted because that's not what I mean, but like,
Yeah, or drawn to,
you're
like
drawn
that's
to. Thank you.
kind of where you're
Weird.
finding what you're finding. Yeah. Oh,
So,
that's
but
interesting.
maybe it's even just the algorithm. I started out that long ago, and now the algorithm is just feeding me men.
Yep. And
So,
that is and that's a very, very possible
yeah.
situation,
Yeah.
right? Like that's another thing that's a whole other like I don't know if you watched the Netflix, what is it? The Social Dilemma.
Yeah, I
I
did.
think
Yeah.
it's like a little bit unnerving, right? You're like, I'm not using social media anymore. And I'm like, here we are doing a live stream, but it's fine. But like, no. But yeah, it
Yeah.
definitely has you question, like, okay, like, what information am I getting? Like, am I getting, like, what? Yeah, I won't go there.
One thing that I
Very
did
real.
do to give myself kudos is I started listening to Women's Impact
Ooh, okay.
by the woman who her and her husband created the Quest bars. They're like
Okay.
billionaires.
Yeah.
But she has the Women's Impact and she brings on women who
Ooh.
have done impactful things in their lives. So that is one like podcast that I have been listening to.
Yes, that's a good one.
I give
I'll
myself a
have to do
little
that
pat on the
too.
back. She's great. She's great. I was just listening to one recently about a woman who worked for like the CIA or some shit, but just like a blonde, beautiful powerhouse and
Ooh.
crazy boundaries. And how she got to where she got to as far as like standing on 2 feet and strong and using her voice in a male dominated arena.
Environment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was definitely really cool.
That's awesome. I mean, I think like okay, so I'll put in your Facebook channel a list of books and things, but I think you need to do that too because you've got some juicy ones. Like I definitely want to dive
That's a
into
good
some of this
idea.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, I'll do
I
that.
wanna see more. Yeah, I can easily do it. It's like, oh yeah, because it's just like a brain dump. It's all this stuff that you just know, but like you don't realize it's valuable.
Yes, that's what this whole channel is about. You go through all this shit, and you're like, I just went through that shit because that's how I got through my life. But like, hello, like that could help.
Yeah, like thank you for the help. Thank you. I'll share that. I'll take it.
Yes, exactly.
Absolutely.